everyone, welcome back to the Yum Yum Report, bringing you bite-sized updates from Australian theme parks, as well as occasional updates from theme parks around the world. This week we popped into Movie World to see how things were going after Cyclone Alfred, which hit South East Queensland over the weekend. Overall, the park was pretty quiet and there wasn't too much to report, except for one change to the DC Supervillains Unleashed area, which I'll get to soon. But first of all, I'd like to give a very special thank you to my channel members: Koala75, Lee Donald, SWStevie1, Randall, Maloney's Coasters, Kerry Jekin, and Medic Brick. Thank you so much. As I mentioned, Cyclone Alfred hit South East Queensland over the weekend, and many businesses were affected, including the theme parks, which did close during this time, especially considering that Movie World is in an area prone to flooding, and you can't really expect them to stay open during a cyclone. So I wasn't expecting to see too many changes, but I was kind of just interested to see how they coped during the storm, and hopefully everything was okay. As I mentioned, there isn't too much to report this week, so I'll go straight to the interesting stuff first, and then I'll cover the rest of my visit afterwards. So the main thing we noticed today was that in the DC Supervillains Unleashed area, there appears to be a large portion of the vinyl print on the Scooby Doo show building that has seemingly been removed. It's unclear if this is due to the cyclone, perhaps there was some damage to the print and they had no option but to take it down, or maybe they have something else lined up. I'm sure it comes as no surprise, but I'm personally hoping for some kind of retheme to the area, and I don't think they need to tear everything down or change everything, because the quality of the facades and the theming is actually really good. So they could certainly use that as a foundation and build something on top of it, sort of reskinning or repurposing what's already there. I did ask everyone on social media and on the YouTube community what their thoughts are on what could possibly be happening, and I received some interesting comments. ClaireBear806 says, probably getting rid of the Doomsday theming bit by bit. Love your channel, by the way. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, that definitely seems to be the case, especially given that Doomsday has mysteriously disappeared, as well as a couple of other things in the area, such as the Lex Luthor statue. So that kind of points to them slowly dismantling the area or doing something with it. The only question is what. Carla NZ75 says, hopefully they have started a retheme of the area. Would love to see an immersive dark ride. Yes, I definitely agree with you, Carla. I think an immersive dark ride would be an excellent addition to the park. Something that they're definitely missing out on here in Australia, except for Justice League. And there are a few other rides that feature some dark ride sections, of course, such as Scooby Doo Spooky Coaster, Storm Coaster at SeaWorld, and now Jungle Rush at Dreamworld. I'm trying to think of some other Warner Brothers properties that they could turn into some kind of immersive dark ride experience. I've already mentioned in the past that maybe Scooby Doo would work well, or a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory dark ride experience. Another idea I had was a sort of Star Tours style ride themed after Dune, the films, which maybe you could be flying in a ornithopter, I think it's called in the film. And there's this great scene in the first movie where they're visiting one of the spice harvesting facilities, and a gigantic sandworm appears and starts attacking, and I think that would be such a really cool scene. Living It Live in Australia says, honestly I hope it gets rethemed. It was good for a short run, but the area is a bit meh, to be honest. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like I say, I think the quality of the theming is quite good, but it just feels so desolate, and there's not a lot going on there when you do visit. It's pretty lifeless, and I'm not sure if that's necessarily to do with the theming or just what the park has actually decided to do with it, because there's so much they could do with it, with performances, shows, character meet and greets, and other interactive elements, but they've kind of just left it sitting dormant, and I think it's time for something new. Jordan Not a Whale says, I think they did it on purpose and are redoing the land. About time. Yeah, I think they most likely are doing this on purpose. I mean, if there was damage during the cyclone, surely there would be more damage visible on the rest of the print, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So that kind of leads me to believe that it was on purpose, and as other people have mentioned, they're slowly removing certain things from the area, which just leaves me with the impression that they either have a plan or they don't have a plan at all and they're just panicking and getting rid of everything. Claire Johnson 8 says, yeah, it doesn't really look like it's damaged the way they've removed it. My thoughts are similar to yours. I think they have something in mind to put in the area, like redesign it into something like continuing the Wild West theme, or just keeping the DC villains but kind of retheming it to be better. I feel like they've given the DC villains area a chance, and although I don't personally feel like they've used it to its full advantage or its full potential, I do feel like it's time to try out a new theme. And a few weeks ago in a separate video, I asked people's thoughts on what they would like to see added to the area, and there were some really cool ideas. I personally think that they need to theme it to a Warner Brothers property that lots of people recognize. I think it was Harmony Breen who had the great idea of theming it to the Barbie film, which is a cool idea. It's very recognizable. Of course, Mad Max would be a perfect theme. And there's some other classic IPs like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Or of course they could extend the Wild West Falls area into this, but I don't personally see that happening. I don't think that Western films are as popular at the moment, and they're certainly timeless, but I feel like they've got a great section with Wild West Falls already, which is a whole nother story. They really need to use that section of land to its full potential as well. Ryan says, honestly, Village Roadshow have made me so confused lately that I have no idea anymore. Yeah, I feel like we're all in a similar position there, Ryan. Just different styles of managing things, I suppose, and they seem to keep things a bit more under wraps and don't really reveal too much to the public, which is fine in principle, although sometimes the end result leaves people feeling like they didn't really have a coherent plan or anything definitive in mind. So I feel like it's hard to tell what Village Roadshow is going to do. But there's certainly been a trajectory recently in terms of the way that things have been going, cutting out lots of pre-existing things and some downgrading. So hopefully that's not the case here. On the other hand, of course, they did open the Wizard of Oz Precinct and New Atlantis at SeaWorld. And there's been a whole range of complications like COVID and weather events such as Cyclone Alfred over the past week, although thankfully there didn't seem to be too much damage. But I guess things happen, and sometimes things don't always go to plan. And Key55 Rally says, someone farted and blew half of it away. This seems like the most likely situation. Yeah, I think some guy called Alfred came in over the weekend, did a big fart, and blew half of the vinyl print off of the building. Thank you so much everyone for leaving your comments and thoughts. It's great to hear other people's perspectives, and I really enjoy sharing this on the channel. It's such a fun segment, and I hope to do more of this. And if you want to be involved, feel free to follow me on Instagram and check out my YouTube community, which is where I post the questions and posts that will generate these discussions and eventually be included in the videos. And I'm sorry to anyone whose comments that I didn't read. I do record these videos at an unusual time. You may have noticed I'm whispering a little bit in this video, and that's because it's quite late and I don't want to go waking everyone up ranting about theme parks. I do have neighbors and I live with other people, so I can't be shouting about theme parks. Other than that, there's not really too much to report from Movie World this week. Overall, they seem to have survived Cyclone Alfred very well, and I'm sure there was a lot of work that they had to do over the past few days, not only at Movie World but at the other parks as well, such as SeaWorld and Wet n Wild and Topgolf, and of course Paradise Country, which I'm sure, given the fact that it's surrounded by trees, most likely would have had some more serious damage. So great job to all the workers who got everything back open again. That's no easy feat, and I can't imagine how challenging it would be to get through something like that, there's all kinds of unexpected surprises and problems that would arise. So great job to everyone at Movie World. It is the quieter season at the moment, and the park wasn't super busy, but they did have some characters out and about, which is great to see. And of course, the parade is always a highlight. They've still yet to make any significant changes to the parade. It's been a while since they've changed the music, for example, or added new characters, etc. But hopefully we'll see some changes at some point. I think the next event to come up is the DC Super Villains and Superheroes event. I can't remember the name. I think that's basically what it is. But they always have a really cool parade that goes along with that. So I'm excited to experience that later in the year. And ClareBear806 pointed out to me that it's DC Comics' 90th anniversary this year, so I'm sure they'll have some exciting celebrations lined up for the event. Batwing, Spaceshot, and Superman Escape are still down for maintenance, and hopefully they'll be up and running again soon. Scooby Doo Spooky Coaster, of course, is still having its mysterious refurbishment, and hopefully it opens again later this year, because that's my absolute favorite ride at Movie World. Possibly in Australia. It's such an excellent attraction, and I think it kind of goes head to head with Jungle Rush in terms of being a great family attraction. So yeah, hopefully that opens again soon, and I can't wait to see the new changes. In other news, it looks like there was some kind of patent or official regulatory leap action step that was taken on the new building behind the stunt show experience. It does seem like this is going to be used for parade floats. Not super exciting, but ultimately we don't get to see all of the significant changes at the parks. We only see like 50% or less of what actually goes into creating the experience of these theme parks. So I'm sure that having a new addition like this, although it's behind the scenes, is important and will hopefully make things better. We had a quick look in the Wizard of Oz Precinct, which has been open for a few months now, and there don't appear to be any new changes. Still no signs of benches, receipts, or rubbish bins, or water fountains, or shade. But hopefully we'll see some changes like this at some point, because right now, although some of it's very pretty, it's not really a space that you can spend too much time in. I did notice a little bit of wear and tear on some of the things in the Wizard of Oz Precinct. Nothing major, but for instance, some of the paint was peeling away, and also some of the paint on the Cowardly Lion's foot towards Superman Escape, which is a shame to see. Hopefully they can fix this up and maintain this new edition, because it would be a shame to see it fall to pieces. But that brings me to the end of this Yum Yum report from Movie World. I apologize if it wasn't the most interesting report in the world. You can't expect the parks to always have something new every single week, but it is an ongoing project after all, and changes do take time, so I'm sure there's lots of things going on behind the scenes, and lots of decisions being made about the future of the DC Supervillains Unleashed area and what they're going to do with that. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like it, please feel free to check out my channel, where I've been releasing frequent updates and reports, and I'll continue to release bite-sized updates on Australian theme parks as well as theme parks around the world. If you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, a friendly comment, or subscribe for more. And as always, I'd like to finish things up by giving a very special thank you to my channel members: Koala75, Lee Donald, SWStevie1, Randall, Maloney's Coasters, Kerry Jackin, and Medic Brick. Thank you so much, everyone, for your very kind and generous support, which means so much to me, and I'm so glad that you enjoy my videos and my channel in a way that makes you want to support me like this. It's very kind, and it's going to help me continue saving for better equipment and future trips, which will hopefully make the channel more interesting, more high quality, and more entertaining for you. And if you would like to become a channel member, you're more than welcome to do so. This will give you access to new videos early, as well as receiving a special shout out and thanks at the end of my videos. And you'll also gain access to some special yum yum emojis that you can use in the comments or the chat, and you'll also get a nice little yum yum sticker next to your username on YouTube as well. But if you're not in a position to support the channel financially, you're more than welcome to support by liking, leaving a friendly comment, or subscribing for more. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.